I am back with another one for you guys. I know y'all miss me because I definitely miss y'all. So, today on crypto updates, we have good news and bad news. Good news from Kenya, bad news from the US. Now, we are going to get into the newses of the day, right? So, as you guys understand by now, I am a crypto investor, crypto guy, whatever you want to label me. And you have crypto maximalist and then you have crypto realist. I am a realist. I look at the world we live in. I understand how financial markets and financial things work to a sense. I'm not a financial advisor, but I understand the reality of the world we live in and how important regulation is. Okay? Now, both newses are relating to bills being passed or not passed. So, we're going to get right into the topic for you guys. So let me summarize it. What's it called? In the U.S., we have the crypto bill. I don't know if it's part of Trump's big beautiful bill, but we have the crypto bill. I am a crypto investor, so that's important to me. And from my understanding, our bill got rejected today in somewhere. I want to say parliament, but I know we don't have a parliament. What's it called? Our bill got rejected, but in Kenya, Kenya's bill got tabled, if I'm correct. Is that the proper way to phrase that? It's currently before Parliament. So, this is good news on behalf of Kenya, and I want to explain why. I got into crypto since, no, in 2017. And in 2017, it still wasn't established. It was still the wild, wild west. That's where you had crazy rug pulls. People think that what we have nowadays is crazy. No, go back. And even probably before me when I got into it in 2017, there was no regulation. So anybody and their mother can go ahead and start up a new crypto. No regulations, nothing. When I got into it, I assessed it from a, what's it called? From a practical standpoint. I was like, okay, I understand the world we live in. I understand how money works, what it's backed by, how it's printed, the feds, all that. So I was like, I don't see that realistically going away. And then you had people at the time who are maximalist, who are the people who are like, get the government out my way. I just want to use crypto. Get out my way. I'm not listening to you. And I'm like, okay, cool. You could be that, but let's be realistic. Are you? Do you think you're gonna collapse the dollar and all fiat currency that's like paper money, anything controlled by the governments? I'm like, you're not gonna collapse that. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. I think that there's always gonna be a need for actual fiat. Now, fast forward, we are in 2025. We've gone through ups and downs where different cryptos were being taken to the FCC, different cryptos were being shut down completely. I was invested in some of those, and I got I got thrown off the edge by regulations in the US because things were not established. So I was excited to see that we're actually pushing for regulation instead of just stopping it completely and not even giving, what's it called, the crypto industry a path forward. The reality is the banks have been wanting to get into it. At this point, a lot of the money that you're seeing going into it is institutional investments. That means big banks and people who are investing funds for, you name it, retirement, etc. Now, our bill here got rejected at, what's it called, whatever level. I am not I am not a political person. I don't know how things go, but I know it got rejected. And Kenya's got set before Parliament. Me being in crypto since 2017, where it was like pretty wild, wild west, semi, to now, I understand the importance of crypto. But all along, you still have the maximalists who are like, okay, I don't want any government involvement. And I'm like, let's be realistic. The government's not going to let crypto run wild. They're just going to stop it completely. And the second they see a transaction hit your bank account from an exchange, you're going to be flagged. So you want established regulations so you guys can know, is what I'm doing legal? Since I'm in this legally, I'm not doing any illegal money stuff, right? I'm like, I need it. I need to know what I'm doing is legal. I need to know if I deposit money here, how am I going to be liable for taxes? All that. So I went and I asked ChatGPT. I was like, okay, can you summarize Kenya's crypto bill for me? And I want to jump into that. Kenya introduced the Virtual Assets Service Provider VASP Bill 2025, a landmark initiative in April that's currently before Parliament. Here's a refined summary of its key points. I want to break that down kind of, not get too nerdy, not get too deep in the weeds, but kind of explain to you guys why regulation is good. Dual regulated framework. That means the Central Bank of Kenya, the CBK, will oversee like custodial wallets, crypto payment processors, and stablecoin issuers. Capital Markets, CMA, is going to license and supervise crypto exchanges, ICOs, tokenization platforms, all that. You want regulations, that way you don't have people just setting up anything and being able to run away with your regular Kenyans' money. You want regulation, that way money laundering can be flagged. If you're doing illegal stuff, you probably don't want regulation. But at the same time, our corrupt governments will try to launder stolen money through crypto. And I think it's already been done, or there's already cases of that happening. So you want regulation frameworks to hold, especially the government officials, accountable. The next point was licensing and market access. Only Kenyan registered corporate entities can apply for VASP licenses, no individual licensing allowed. And then licenses must have physical offices in Kenya with at least 3 natural person directors. That means they want a physical place where if some funky stuff is happening and they're like, this company's scamming people, first of all, you already have a license. You have to have 3 physical people or natural Kenyans with an office that the regulators can go to and shut everything down, or what's it called, serve you papers, subpoenas, whatever regulators need to do to you. They need a physical place to access you, not some internet, what's it called, crypto platform that's in the Philippines stealing Kenyans' money. They're trying to make sure that that doesn't exist by saying you need, what's it called, registered corporate entities that are in Kenya, and they have regulations around that. That's the second point. There's identity and privacy restrictions, ban on anonymity enhancing tools such as like mixers and tumblers. That's what people use to basically hide their money. If I have a Bitcoin and I want to go, what's it called, use it somewhere else in the world, and I don't want the government to track me, people put that in mixers where it gets mixed up with a bunch of random other people's cryptos, and then you get some other random Bitcoin in your wallet than the one that you put out there or whatever. That's a summarization. Don't quote me to the exact. Go search that up. But that's good because at the same time, the people who are doing illegal stuff, they are most likely going to use that type of stuff. When you're going into it legally, you don't care about the legal regulations. You just want clarity on what I'm doing is legal. The companies that I'm putting my money with are regulated, and that they can be stopped if they start doing crazy, funky things. And then tokenization and ICO regulation. Initial coin offerings fall under CMA supervision, requiring IPO like disclosures, CMA approval, and adherence to strict compliance rules. An ICO is if I wanted to launch Jimmy Coin and go and scam people, then what's it called? The CMA would be overseeing all of that, and I'd have to adhere to strict compliance rules. That's good because it stops all those crazy things that you see being started up and then it disappears in 2 days. I think there was one coin in Kenya. I don't even know why the government would allow a foreign company to come and take people's data. I think they were taking people's facial recognition. I don't know. Don't quote me. But I would have never allowed that. So this stops people from just starting Jimmy Coin, Elephant Coin, Nairobi Coin, and what's it called? Not having any regulations around them. Good. And then there's the AML, no, stable coins and custody. Stable coins are the backbone of crypto. It's what allows you to sell off when things are being volatile and you don't want to necessarily sell your crypto into US dollars or sell your crypto into Kenyan shillings. So you use a stable coin that's always pegged to the actual value of whatever currency you're using. So for example, if there's USD coin or USD tether, it's always equivalent to 1-to-1 value with the US dollar, and they have to have the equivalent dollar in the bank. That way, they're not just issuing fake digital dollars. Good. And then you have AML, CFT, and data privacy. That's protecting people's privacy and making sure that, what's it called? There's a know your customers, all that stuff. Good. There's penalties and enforcements where it talks about up to 3 million Kenyan shillings and KSH 20 million to something for the corporations. But individuals is 3 million, companies is up to 20 million Kenyan shillings. Good. Because you're not doing anything legal. So you just want rules to know that what you're doing is okay. And you don't have to worry about paying 3 million. And then there's taxation and revenue integration. This is where I had a concern. So the bill ties into the 2025 financial tax bill, reducing a 3% digital asset, E, a 3% digital asset turnover tax to 1.5%. So they're reducing their tax rate from 3 to 1.5, which is good. But, this is where I get concerned. The Kenya Revenue Authority, the KRA, plans to monitor crypto trades in real time for tax tracking. I would like to understand their concern with live trades. I'm not sure if that happens in the US. I don't see why a live trade would matter unless somebody's like insider trading or okay, probably for insider trading. But at the same time, they say the KRA is concerned because of tax tracking, but you shouldn't be taxed for trading a crypto into another crypto. You get taxed when you trade your Bitcoin into a dollar or your Bitcoin into a Kenyan shilling. So I don't understand why they would need to monitor crypto trades in real time, unless I'm thinking like money laundering. No, not money laundering. Insider trading, so they can be able to say like, we predict this person is gonna sell off early before they announce this information, and they want to track and make sure that you're not doing that. So that could be useful there, but that's not the reason that they gave. They gave the reason for taxes, and taxes only come once you sell off into a fiat currency. So I'm concerned. And then you have strategic motivation, stakeholder feedback aimed at exiting the FAFTA gray list and strengthening AML enforcement and gaining investor trust. The AML enforcement is anti-money laundering. So, I've worked in an industry that deals a lot with regulation in America. The reason why American companies can easily get funding and venture capital is because they have to adhere to certain anti-money laundering guidelines. They have to give certain access to books and access to certain systems. That way, when an investor is giving their money to grow this company, they know that the government is regulating all that stuff. So Kenya wants to now show the rest of the world that they're also regulating the insides of what goes on in these companies, making sure that there's no shady stuff going on. That way you can attract more capital and not be on the gray list, strengthening the anti-money laundering enforcement and gaining investor trust. I hope that breaks it down and ties it. Generally just being welcomed by industry. And then, in summary, to summarize all these points, Kenya's VASP bill 2025 primarily focuses on formalizing the digital asset space through licensing AML robustness and regulatory clarity across CBK and CMA. It balances consumer protections with strict controls, blah 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 blah, a whole lot of fluff. It's a major step towards legitimizing crypto. That's the key part about all this. Like I said it from the beginning, you want regulation because if you're going into it with the right mind, you're not trying to clean dirty money, then you're not worried about regulation. Where you're worried about is if your government is trying to, I don't know, look into your accounts for some ulterior reason that's not money laundering. Like if you're not already suspected, they shouldn't be looking into your account. But I think it was like a view only, where they can only see like this is a person, something like that. I don't know how much of what's it called, KYC privacy is gonna block the government from seeing who this person is. Let's say they're trying to target someone and they want to see how much money does this person even have in the bank, and then they see that you have a big amount, so then now they take you to court, and then they, what's it called, they try to sue you for some amount because they've already looked into your, that sounds illegal to me. So overall, this is good news for Kenya. I hope people understand that the maximalist idea of crypto, of no regulation whatsoever and the government never stepping in, is not going to really exist. You want regulation, that way you can understand and actually grow real companies and gain investments. That is the end of this video. I hope I didn't blab, but as someone planning to go back based on how crypto does, this is important because now I know that there's frameworks that I can follow back in Kenya without being stopped and red flagged and told what you did is illegal. This company is illegal, so what you did can't be this. We have to flag your account. We have to freeze your funds. I'm like, look, let me know what I need to do the right way. Now it got stopped in the U.S. our bill today, so it will be revisited, I believe. But that's not good news. Overall, I am pro crypto. People who think that it's going away, there's already too much institutional money in it. So, invest your money wisely. This is not me telling you to go into crypto, but like I said again, I am invested. This channel, ooh, yo, why is it going on my? Okay, these bugs are about to start taking over. I love you guys, and I hope this was informative to explain to those why regulation is good. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.